latest deadly attack in Plateau State has triggered a strong reaction from the Northern Senators Forum, with the lawmakers demanding urgent action to end what they describe as a prolonged cycle of violence in the state. The forum's reaction follows the overnight attack in Plateau State on August 18, where at least 25 people, mostly women and children, were reportedly killed in their homes. The Northern Senators Forum, NSF, described the latest bloodshed as one too many, while extending condolences to the families of the victims and remembering others who have lost their lives in previous attacks across Plateau State. In a statement issued in Abuja and signed by the forum's chairman, Senator Abdulaziz Musa Yaradua, the senator said the scale and frequency of attacks across the state could no longer be treated as isolated incidents. The forum specifically pointed to a pattern of violence that has affected communities in Mangu, Bokos, Bakin Ladi, and other parts of Plateau State over the past 3 years. According to the senators, hundreds of people have been killed during the period. Thousands have been injured, tens of thousands displaced, and numerous homes and farms destroyed. The forum said the repeated attacks demonstrates the urgent need for decisive measures to protect communities and prevent further bloodshed. The senators also commended the Nigerian Army and the Joint Task Force, Operation Enduring Peace, for their response to the latest security situation. They noted the deployment of additional troops and equipment to affected communities as part of the response. The forum also highlighted the decision to relocate the tactical headquarters of Operation Enduring Peace from Jos to Mangu local government area. According to the senators, the relocation is expected to give the military's commander, Major General Williams Maswe Dangana, more direct and real-time oversight of security operations in communities affected by violence. They said the arrangements could allow security personnel to respond more quickly when new threats emerge. The Northern Senators Forum also acknowledged the visit of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to Plateau State and the interventions already undertaken by the federal government. But the senators said security efforts must go beyond responding after attacks have already taken place. They called for a stronger prevention strategy involving the federal, state, and local governments. The forum also placed responsibility on the Plateau State government to do more within its constitutional and budgetary powers. One of its major recommendations is the establishment of genuine community dialogue involving farmers, herders, and traditional institutions. The senator said such dialogue should address some of the long-standing issues surrounding land use, grazing routes, and compensation for farms and homes destroyed during violent incidents. They argued that resolving these issues through dialogue could help reduce tensions and prevent disputes from escalating into deadly confrontations. The forum also called for a transparent compensation and resettlement framework for victims and internally displaced persons. According to the senators, victims of violence should receive proper support as they attempt to rebuild their lives. They stressed that justice should be the response to violence rather than retaliation. The lawmakers also want the government to increase the use of technology in areas considered vulnerable to attacks. They specifically called for the deployment of drones, CCTV systems, and early warning mechanisms across identified flashpoints. Among the locations mentioned were Akbank, Kombo, Mangu, and the Gindiri Axis. The senator said technology could help security agencies detect suspicious movements and respond to threats before attacks occur. Their position reflects growing concerns over the repeated nature of attacks in Plateau State, where communities have experienced violence, displacement, and destructions of livelihoods. The latest attack has once again raised questions about how quickly security agencies can detect threats and protect vulnerable communities. The Northern Senators Forum cited Section 14 2B of Nigeria's 1999 Constitution, which states that the security and welfare of citizens should be the primary purpose of government. The senators argued that this constitutional responsibility must be matched with concrete action. They said condolences alone cannot address the scale of the crisis facing communities affected by violence. The forum therefore called on governments at all levels to move from a largely reactive approach to a preventive security strategy. It also appealed to residents to remain calm and cooperate with security agencies as investigations continue and efforts are made to identify those responsible for the killings. The senators urged citizens to provide useful information that could assist security agencies in identifying and apprehending the perpetrators. The latest call from the Northern Senators Forum comes at a time when communities in Plateau are once again dealing with deaths, injuries, displacements, and fear following another deadly attack. The lawmakers' message is clear. Security operations must not simply begin after lives have already been lost. They want stronger intelligence gathering, better technology, community engagement, compensation for victims, and faster security intervention in vulnerable areas. The challenge now is turning those recommendations into action. For residents of affected communities, the priority remains simple: being able to sleep safely in their homes, return to their farms, and move through their communities without fear of another attack. The Northern Senators Forum has called for an end to the cycle of killings in Plateau State and urged authorities at every level to make prevention, justice, and the protection of citizens the center of their response. For more informative reports, stay with us on First Next News. I'm Chidera Isom. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next report.